Growing up, I was always interested in the mental game. After years of study, I developed the BasketballBrain program. My life is devoted to helping others achieve their greatness. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and if you take a chance with the BasketballBrain program, I promise you your game's going to reach levels that you never thought possible. I've always loved the story of Icarus. Do you guys know the story of Icarus? Icarus, a mythical character, was built a pair of wings by his father. They were wings made of wax. And his father told him to do two things when he flew with them on. Number one, don't go too near the water because the moisture will ruin the wings and you will crash. Secondly, and most importantly, do not fly too high because the sun will melt the wax. And well, you don't want to be 10,000 feet up in the air with melting wings. So Icarus, of course, doesn't heed his father's advice. He starts flying with these wings on, and he flies towards the sun, higher and higher and higher, and of course, his wings melt, and he crashes into the sea, and he dies. In 1997, in the playoffs, it's Kobe's rookie year. They're playing against the Utah Jazz. Kobe got the ball 3 times in crunch time. 3 times. And guess what? He airballed each of the 3 shots, one after another. If you want to see Icarus in real life, you're watching it right there. That is Icarus. That is somebody flying too high, where everyone tells him, let the game come to you, don't force it. That's the same as saying, don't go too near the sun, don't try to be bigger than you are, you're going to crash. Kobe, right here, is trying to be like Mike, and he fails. This, ironically, is my favorite Kobe Bryant moment for 2 reasons. First, he took the damn shots. He's 18, 19 years old, and he said, give me the ball. That sort of confidence, irrational as it may be, was why he was in the NBA as a high school player. And he took that confidence. What's really cool is he took the confidence we talked about in the last video where it's kind of awkward and dorky. Well, he took that confidence playing against kind of high school talent to having it against the best players in the world. It really is amazing, and we can learn from this. A lot of the time we have confidence in our little talent pool, whoever we're playing against, and then we go to a bigger stage and we don't feel as confident. We don't have the same body language. We don't have the same thoughts, the same self-talk. We don't have the same visions of greatness. Kobe shows us that you can take the confidence you have at a smaller level and bring it up to a larger level, to a broader context. And the reason you carry it with you is even if you don't perform in a line with how much confidence you have, if you fake it, you eventually make it. Usually that's a bunch of BS, the fake it till you make it, but with confidence, it's not. You have to keep having confidence until your game starts to correspond to the level of confidence you have. So we can learn from that. Now, the second reason I love this Kobe Bryant moment, these 3 air balls, it's actually what made me a fan. I didn't really know about Kobe. You got to remember, this is before YouTube when I'm growing up. And I see the highlights on ESPN, on SportsCenter, and I actually remember reading in the paper, in an actual newspaper, a physical thing, they asked Kobe about those shots, and he said, I'd shoot them again. And I remember reading that, and I was really depressed because Michael Jordan was on his way out, and I thought, who am I going to watch? Because I don't really watch basketball. I like to watch great players, and nobody at all was really inspiring to watch. Maybe Iverson, but he wasn't Iverson at that point. And I remember hearing Kobe say that, and I go, that's my guy. And I was a fan from that moment on. I've watched every Kobe Bryant game just because of that quote, and that's the honest-to-God truth. I'd take them again. Let that sink in. 3 air balls in a row. Your teammates probably want to choke you. Though Shaq right here was actually giving Kobe words of encouragement, telling him the people who are laughing at you now won't be laughing very soon. And just let me add, after this humiliating performance, Kobe got back in the gym as soon as possible. Quote, after the game, the Lakers flew back to LA, and while most of the players went back to their homes, Kobe Bryant went to a local high school, found someone to open the doors for him, and shot jump shots all night and into the morning. I did another video, you can find a link in the description, about how to handle a humiliating performance. And one of the first rules I have is get back in the gym as soon as is humanly possible. Start working on your game again as soon as you possibly can. And what's really cool about Kobe is that they're expecting you to be humbled, and you say, "No, I'd take him again." And I thought, "Yep, that's my guy right there. That's who I am a fan of." Because I guess I could see in myself there were going to be many points in my life where I was going to put up some air balls, maybe in business, maybe in relationships, but I was going to keep coming back, and I'd do the same thing again as long as I was trying my best. We can learn from that. I take them again. Now, here's the other thing about Kobe. Icarus dies, but there's another myth that I think Kobe embodies, and it's that of the phoenix. And you know the story of the phoenix, of course. The phoenix burns down, and then he rejuvenates, he reanimates, is reconstituted and comes back to life. Kobe's like that. Kobe's almost like a daredevil. Those daredevils who crash their bikes trying to jump, 4 miles across a canyon. They crash, they roll, they break 72 bones. And before all their bones are even completely healed, they're doing the same stunt again. Well, that's what greatness sometimes takes. You have to have that mentality, that psychology, and we see it in Kobe, even from a young man. I talk about the story of the Phoenix often on my other channel. Please go subscribe to there. I'd really appreciate it. But there's one thing about the Phoenix I always tell people. Everybody likes the idea of being rejuvenated. You fall down and you build yourself back up. Everybody has that within them. We want those second chances. We feel like we can come back bigger and stronger, and people cheer us on after. I mean, look at me with Kobe. I cheered him on after his failure. We tend to cheer people on who fail and try to make a comeback. But what you have to remember is this. When you're going through pain, when things really suck, you are burning down and it's not pleasant. That's the risk you take. You can be humiliated. You can be embarrassed. You can have sleepless nights because you messed up. But that's part of burning down. Everybody thinks about the Phoenix and how great it is that it rejuvenates, but think about the pain the Phoenix was going through as it actually burned. Agonizing pain. Wasn't beautiful, wasn't pretty. The Phoenix's beautiful feathers turned black and charred. Right? Icarus on the way down, thinking of how scared he would be falling. I mean, just terrified. You're falling from that height as your wings melt. So that's part of greatness, and to have that courage and fearlessness, we see that in Kobe, and it's really beautiful to watch, and it's inspiring to watch. So Kobe's a mixture of those two stories, flying high, dies, and then is reborn like the Phoenix. Most people, and remember this, are a mixture of myths, and these two myths are good to have if you're aiming for any sort of greatness, to go as high as you possibly can and be willing to crash and be reborn. It happens to great CEOs. They go bankrupt, they come back, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I'm belaboring that point, but it's really important. I want it to stick. You're going to crash. When you crash, get ready to be reborn. In his early years in the NBA, Kobe Bryant's minutes are limited. And we're going to get into this a little bit more later. I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to try to shorten these just a bit. But Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett had jumped straight from high school to the NBA. And this was not common at the time. This was like a new thing. And Kobe's coach, Del Harris, really limited Kobe's minutes. And in fact, if you know the story behind Kobe's 62 points in 3 quarters, do you know who inspired that? It was Del Harris. He wanted to get revenge on Del Harris. Let me read you a quote really quickly from Kobe after that game. He said, when asked why he seemed to go hard against the Mavericks, so hard against the Mavericks, Kobe's response was Del Harris. Del Harris was the Los Angeles Lakers coach from 1994 until the early stages of the 1999 lockout year. He coached Bryant through his first 2 seasons, plus the first 12 games of his 3rd campaign. When I was a rookie, I hated Del, Bryant said. I always said, if I get a chance to get revenge, I'm going to get it. So, there you go. Kobe was motivated by that. He had a fuel list, which we always talk about. A fuel list is a list of the people who doubt you. It's not your main source of motivation, but it is extra fuel. Everything anyone ever says negative about you, you keep a list of it. And that list will get you through hard workouts. You can think about it when you feel like giving up. and then you can save it for special occasions like Kobe Bryant did here. What's important is we're starting to see into his psychology, and it's an important thing to see because every great person I study has this little "I'll show them" attitude. They have that fuel list. I don't care what industry I study. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if it's art. I don't care if it's music. Heck, it might even be somebody who's very good at just a quote unquote regular job. I had a friend who was a teacher, and some of her colleagues said she wasn't a great teacher. Well, she took note of that and became a finalist for Teacher of the Year in the state she taught in. That drove her to become a better teacher, to connect with her students more. So it's not only in these great endeavors that have a lot of public adoration attached to them. Anybody can be great. Anybody can be rare. And when you see this in Kobe, even as a rookie, you realize he's made of the right stuff. I'm going to do another talk on what this right stuff is, but that's one of the key things you got to see. This nobody is going to disrespect me, and I will come back and I will prove them wrong. We might say this is a healthy form of pride. You can overdo it. You can get too caught up in what other people think, but in the right doses, it's very useful. By the time LeBron came to play in the NBA from high school, it was more acceptable to make that jump and to start playing right away. But Del Harris didn't really do Kobe any favors. This team was also pretty good, so there wasn't a lot of minutes for Kobe there. It's not like he went to the Cavs where they just had nothing. And this is something that haunts Kobe to this day. His stats, he thinks, are hurt by the fact that he was sidelined as a rookie. And the other thing that pisses him off is that he had to play with Shaq. Of course, he likes playing with Shaq. It got him championships. But I've actually heard a quote where he said, "My stats would have been bananas had I not played with Shaq." And that's definitely true. We'd have a different conversation about Kobe's greatness had he not played with Shaq. Now, maybe he doesn't have 5 championship rings. Who knows? But he would have had, his stats would have been crazy had he not, in a lot of his prime, had to play with Shaq. He would have led the league in scoring a lot more, probably got a few more chances to get MVP, and would have got more glory. So there's already something in him that is, he knows this as it's going on. In fact, he said in several interviews that he thinks the difference between him and Jordan is basically their career arc, the types of teams that they had to go to, that he couldn't start building a team around him from day one, that he didn't have, it took Jordan 9 years to win. It took LeBron 9 years to win. He didn't go into a situation where the team would be built around him. So I don't think that's a bad argument, but you can see Kobe is again thinking, well, there's a lot of context here, and some of this was beyond my control. So when you start talking about the greatest player of all time, it was very hard for me to make my own name the first 7 years in the league. So I had almost half the time to do it as these other guys. I didn't get the early years to really explore who I was as a basketball player. Fair point, I think. So how did the Lakers end up with Kobe? Kobe was doing a pre-draft workout against Michael Cooper. So Jerry West is in the stands watching Kobe go against Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper is retired at this time, but he was an 8-time All-NBA defense. He's still in great shape. And Jerry West wanted to see, okay, this kid's done good against high school competition. He has the body, he has the speed, the quick. Let me just see how he does against a great defender. So West said Michael, Cooper, and Kobe were playing one-on-one, and it was not much of a contest. It wasn't much of a challenge for Kobe. And I said, to hell with this. I've seen enough. This was after 10 minutes of watching. I remember that after we made the trade, Kobe was originally drafted to the Hornets, and Jerry West wanted him so bad they traded to get Kobe. He said, after we made the trade, I told Lakers owner Jerry Buss, I think we got the best player in the draft. I said, he's young, but he's the most talented player I've seen in a long time, and that's how it came about. At this point in time, it was not in vogue to take high school players. It just wasn't. The one thing he had was the effervescence about himself. That was not like people that had gone to school a lot longer, people with more experience, people more mature. That's a really key word, effervescence. You're sort of bubbling above the competition. I would say effervescence is confidence that's sort of mutated. You know how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles roll the ooze and become the little baby turtles and they become super turtles? That's kind of what effervescence is to me. It's confidence, and it rolls in some sort of mutation goo, and it's just a confidence that is really unshakable. That's brash, that's enthusiastic, that can't wait to get out there, that's chomping at the bit to go at the competition. You know, when you go into any tryout or you're going for a team, don't be meek and mild, get after it. And that's what Kobe was doing here, and that effervescence was apparent to Jerry West. If you go in and a drill comes up and you hop up for the drill, or in practice, you're really going after people. You have confidence, you have an enthusiasm for the game, and you will not be denied. You're going to go after it. Coaches love that. In fact, Michael Cooper, when asked about what happened between him and Kobe, said, Jerry West said, Coop, play him, deny him, work him, play him physical now. It started off with Bryant taking Cooper off the dribble. The footwork Bryant has always cared about more than any of his peers then and now was on full display. So was the explosiveness. Bryant got inside with his burst and just hit from the outside. Bryant did so well with such a steady hand against the guy Larry Bird once called the best he'd ever faced that the foremost objective had quickly been achieved, and Cooper knew it. I'll go ahead and use the word fear, Cooper said. There was no fear in him. I think that was what they were looking for. Aside from the trash he will admit to talking on that court, Cooper's other choice words from that day are eye of the tiger. Kobe definitely had it at a young age, he said. I think everybody saw that. I saw it. And listen, this isn't just about basketball. It's how you engage in your relationships in work and school. When you walk in the room, do you have swagger? Do you have confidence? Do you have effervescence? Do you have vitality? Is there something about you that when you walk in the room, people feel better, feel confident in themselves, and they feed off of your energy? Do they look to you when they need a leader? Well, if you have effervescence, people will start doing that. So again, we're not just looking into Kobe Bryant psychology. We're looking into it in order to help you. That's why we're doing this. This isn't just, like some YouTube videos where we're just exploring this so we can stand in awe. I'm not about that at all. I'm looking at these people, I'm investigating their genius, and I want to take what I can use, and I want to give it to you, and I want to use it for myself. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We're not just having fun exploring Kobe Bryant's life and psychology. We're trying to find out what we can use from him to make our lives better. And that actually is a perfect segue into the last part of this Kobe Bryant analysis of his rookie year. And that is this. Kobe Bryant is taking the advice I just gave you guys. He's doing exactly what I'm doing. Kobe Bryant investigated genius. He sought out people to help him. For instance, he went to Tex Winter. Now, if you don't know Tex Winter, he's the man who invented the triangle offense, the famous triangle offense. Kobe Bryant, as a rookie, calls up Tex Winter and starts asking him for advice. And Tex Winter said, I have never in my entire life had a rookie or anybody really come and ask me for help and advice to get better. He also seeks out Mitch Kupchak. Mitch Kupchak is a disciple of psychological training. His coach was Stan Kellner. Stan Kellner is like the godfather of basketball psychology, one of the early pioneers. So Kobe's starting to get mental training. He steals Michael Jordan's strength coach, Tim Grover. Doesn't steal him, but he also uses him. And, of course, he talks to Jordan. He said, Jordan, when I first came into the league, I thought it was going to be a sort of rival, but he really became an older brother, a mentor to me. Again, seek out people who can help you. Seek out products that can help you. Seek out services that can help you. You live in such a special time. You can actually go online and learn the triangle offense. You can get mental training online. You can get it instantaneously. You can start right now. There are guys out there that can give you a ton of ball handling and dribbling drills, shooting drills, every strength and conditioning, like another program I own, Boing Vert, help you jump higher. It's all right there. People are giving away so much free information. All this stuff really used to be secret. It used to be you had to be initiated. You had to be where Kobe Bryant was to access this stuff. Not so much anymore. Now, maybe it's not a real person you're talking to. Maybe it's just an audio you're listening to. But as we always say, don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. Yes, it would be much better to work out alongside Tim Grover. Yes, it would be better to be here with me and every day I'm giving you sports psychology training. But you can't do that. Tim Grover doesn't have time. I don't have time. But you can get the programs, you can get the products, you can get whatever you need to get better. You can assemble your digital team. I talk about this with entrepreneurs all the time. Create a great digital team. It'll help you immensely if you start to think about what are the pieces I need around me that can make my game better. Every great athlete, you've heard about LeBron and his whole staff that he has around him. Of course, you can't afford to pay a staff, but you can get products and services and maybe even a little bit of one-on-one coaching on occasion. And as much as is humanly possible, get physical people in your life to help you. See what you can find. See if there's somebody in your neighborhood that'll help you out who played college basketball, who played professional basketball. Just get some pointers, some tips, somebody you can call occasionally. Anyways, that's what Kobe Bryant would do if he was you. Even if Kobe Bryant wasn't at the NBA level, he would do what he's doing now in whatever arena he's in. Do you understand? You can have that same psychology no matter what level you're at. Again, that's why we do this. That's why we do this. We want you to have the psychology of winners, and then you see how far that takes you. Maybe it takes you to the very top of your industry, the very top of basketball. But it doesn't matter if you reach the NBA, an NBA All-Star, or you just make a college team, or you just become a starter. The goal is to max out your potential, and then take this same skill set and apply it to every area of your life. So as a rookie, Kobe has the maturity, and this is what's really important. It's really important to understand how mature Kobe was at a young age, that he understood he needed help, that he had to go find his Yodas, that he had to go find the people he could train under. He had to find his Morpheus. Sorry, I'm a Matrix nut. But anyways, I love the Matrix. So he had to find these people that could help him reach his potential. By the way, Kobe Bryant, when he went on like an assist tear for a while, he was getting a lot of assists. He said, "I'm Neo in this game. I can do anything." He actually said a curse word, but I won't say. I'm Neo in this B word. But anyways, we're going to go a little bit more into Kobe's early years in the NBA and then really into the Shaq years in the next video. I hope you guys will stick around. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, email us if you have any questions. Please also check out my other channel if you like, youtube.com/Dylan Freed. It'll really help you as well. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.